To watch last week's episode on how to make whimsical flower crowns, click the link.
This audience is gonna be so confused. One episode, you're making whimsical flower crowns. Another episode, Phil gets really depressing.
All the things that I love in life. Hi, welcome back to ゚xoxo Christine. On this show, along with sharing crafts that I love, I also want to share conversations with people I love to talk to the most. And not just any conversation. I really want to get down to the nitty-gritty, real, candid, and hopefully insightful conversations that will help you and me appreciate my guests even more. Which brings me to today's very, very special guest. He's someone that, of course, I've gotten to know really well throughout the past 5 years. I wouldn't want anyone else to be my first guest other than him. And I can confidently say that I can predict what he's thinking and what he's gonna say even before he says it. He's gonna come here and say, no, you don't. But I do. And we definitely had some real discussions along the way. So let's welcome Phil! Yay!
Hello!
Hi!
Yay!
Hello.
This is interesting.
I know!
This is new.
How do you feel surrounded by pastels?
I feel like this is like Christine's world, like I'm in her mind. I feel very honored that I'm the first person you wanted to do this with.
Yeah, because I know that you've had some real feelings, all your emo blog posts, you know, your cryptid messages on social media.
Emo, and they're not cryptid.
Can we get into that? Like, because we've had some, like I said, we've had some real conversations, and there are many times that I'm like, man, I wish we could record that. I wish people out there can really get to know what Phil is feeling inside.
Christine definitely does know me very well, and when there's things going on in my life, I will go to her pretty early, since she'll just tell me how it is. So yeah, we're
gonna share all of that. The obvious question for me, and I'm pretty sure for a lot of people out there, is that you're the guy that brought nice guys and love onto everyone's radar. Like, you really...
I introduce love to people, guys.
I mean, you've done it in a way that integrated nice guys and, you know, bringing that type of story out into the open where people really haven't, you know, discussed or known about it really.
Yeah, I've never really thought of it like that. I feel like that story has just existed to people, and maybe just the way that we told it through Wong Fu, or the way that I wrote it, was a little bit different, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that was 10 years ago?
Almost 10 years ago,
About 10 years ago?
2007 was when Just Nice Guy came out. But the struggle of Nice Guys started much earlier than
that.
I
mean, was that what happened with you? I've always been curious, like, were you ever the nice, because I think we've talked about it, about your like love experience and stuff. It doesn't seem like you really were ever the nice guy. Whatever that means.
Well, here's the thing. I think, Christine, you met me after the nice guy. Not that I'm not a nice guy.
Well, maybe, but I mean, I'm sure everyone watching already knows about the nice guy, but why don't you define what this nice guy complex?
I feel like, so we made that short, Just a Nice Guy, and it was based on, it's not an original thing. This has been happening since the beginning. This has been happening since there were two guys that liked one woman. This is Helen of Troy right here, whatever. It's just about guys that are friends with girls that they actually have feelings for, and they don't speak up, they don't say what they want, they don't express their feelings, and they start to resent the girl for liking other people, or they start to resent the guy that she actually does like, and you start thinking, oh, why does she like him? Like, I'm so much better than him, or he's a bad boy and she just wants jerks, or, you know, like it's this complex that kind of like you're better than everyone else. You deserve the girl more than anyone else.
Was that your definition when you wrote it 10 years ago?
Definitely not. All the nice guys watching this right now are like,
yeah, Phil, come on.
They're like, why are you saying that, Phil? That's not what... You're friends, and you don't want to weird out the girls. You want to maintain a friendship, you are respectful. Usually like nice guys think that they're being respectful of like a girl's space or emotions and all these things. And it's true to a certain point. So like they'll go out of their way to like help them out with favors or be there for them. The worst thing is that they're not being respectful of like their own emotions, you know? And then when the girl does reject them, then all that respectfulness goes out the window and they're like, oh, screw you, like I'm so mad and you use me, whatever, like, you know, like, and so it's like, when I was that age going through that, I definitely did feel like, oh, like why do girls all end up like going for bad boys or whatever, or like, I can't believe this girl likes that guy. It really did suck, and I feel for nice guys, right?
So is it that thought process of I'm doing stuff for you that I wouldn't do for other people, and because of that, why can't you see that I'm such a great guy, I'm such a great potential boyfriend?
Yeah, I think, first of all, there's a difference between nice guy and good guy. I think,
yes,
you know what I mean? Yeah, like there are good guys out there, and then nice guy is the whole like, oh yeah, he's nice. Like I only think of him as like just a nice person. Like the girls will never look at them as romantic, and when they're doing all these, they're trying to be nice. They do think that, oh yeah, maybe I'm staying close, and she'll see how cool I am, how great I am. But the problem is that you started off already being in that ladder, and the ladders definitely exist. Like girls definitely do categorize their male friends based on who they are attracted to and would date and who they don't ever see anything happening with. And that's fair. Guys do that too with their female friends as well. It's not like only girls have the friend zone for their guys. Like guys friend zone girls all the time too.
Yeah, exactly,
right?
exactly.
They do think that they can jump, or that they can show that, no, I'm attractive too, or like, yeah, you can like me too. But sometimes it's better to just be upfront and just, you know, say what you want. But especially when you're a younger guy or more inexperienced guy, like that's very scary. Like for me, when I remember like in high school and college, like just talking to girls was scary. So coming out and telling them I had feelings for them is like, that's for sure not gonna happen.
Right,
so the easiest thing is just to like be a friend. It's safe, and you lean into that. And this is another nice guy complex too. It's like a lot of things just come down to attraction, physical like attraction. And I think guys are such visual creatures, so it's just kind of understood that, yeah, like I think a girl's cute, and like that's why I like her, that's why I'm gonna go talk to her. But then once that lens is turned back on them, and you say, well, honestly, that girl just probably didn't find you attractive, they'd be like, what? No, that's not fair. But I'm like, that's what guys are doing to girls all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's not fair for nice guys to do that, because I've definitely heard and been myself too. I'm like, oh, why is she going for that guy? You know, like I'm so much cooler, or like whatever. He's not that much better. And then at the end of the day, it's like she just wasn't attracted to you, and I can't be upset at that, because I've had girls that liked me, and I was just like, well, I'm not attracted to you. You know.
Yeah.
So.
And to be honest, when you hear a nice guy talk like that after, where he's like, after you reject him, and I'm not saying rejection, like you shouldn't feel hurt or you don't have a right to feel what you feel. But when you hear a guy say like, well, you know what, screw you, I'm not gonna be friends with you anymore, this is blah, 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 blah. Like, it really goes to show, like, this is exactly why I don't like you. This is why I don't have feelings for you.
Because I've sort of done that before.
In your 20s?
Yes,
I wanna know
early
what
20s,
period. Okay.
early 20s, maybe even mid 20s. But like
Maybe even last week.
Maybe even last week. I think it's all about attitude though. I think if you're in that situation and you approach things as not entitled, I think you're okay. If you're so passionate about your feelings, that same ultimatum can come off as like, wow, this guy actually really does like me or care about me. If it's like a F you, like screw you, then that means that you were entitled, and it's like, that's gonna push a girl away.
Right.
But if it's like, honestly, like my feelings for you are too strong that I can't be friends with you, and if you don't want that, it's gonna be very difficult for me, and that's just how much you mean to me. And it's gonna suck that we can't be friends anymore, but that's actually just how much I really care about you.
Yeah,
that is a totally different, right?
Night and day, night and day.
And I think maybe that's part of the persistence. Like some guys that's part of their persistence journey, like to say what you want in a respectful, loving way, so that they understand the level of your feelings without being an asshole, basically. Like, there's a lot of nice guys that are actually just like assholes.
Yeah, which is like, just because you're a nice guy doesn't make you a good guy.
A good guy, yeah, exactly.
Watching your personal shorts on Wong Fu and seeing that evolution of, you know, being the nice guy to, you know, the unicorn strangers again, you know, and either break up or you get married and then accumulated and the one that got away, etc. What are your current thoughts about love? Like right now, 30-year-old Phil.
I'm more, you know what? I'm more aware that love changes and that the definition of love changes. I think because of like, I've seen it change.
Yeah.
And when you're in high school or college or even early 20s, it seems like this very definite, like, yeah, no, duh, like this is what it needs to be, or this is what it takes, or this is where you get to. I think a lot of people think that like love is a destination.
Yeah.
It's like, as long as we get to say, I love you, and I have that feeling, you know, but it's not like love is, it's an entire journey. It's a spectrum of, within that word, there's so many levels of what it means. Love is more than just a feeling.
Right.
And I think when you're younger, you fall into the feelings a lot. And then when you get older, as sad as it sounds, it is a little jaded, but like you start to realize, oh, like there's like technical aspects to love as well. Thanks, that's the nicest thing you've ever said about me.
Oh, that doesn't happen that often, yeah. I can experience,
Is this where the intervention starts?
Everyone comes in, Phil,
like
Wes, come in. Yeah. Those are the things that you're hinting at on your social media, where you're like, oh, if you only knew, you know?
As a person, I'm still learning that balance of how do you find ways to access that without living in this fantasy world where all these stories are continuous, because like you said, then you're not living in the moment, you're living in 10 other moments.
What's inspirational about Wong Fu for me, as someone who, from observation and now being a part of it, is that you guys are such real people. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next week. Hugs and kisses. No, you have to. Yay!